Right, let's get into it then. Honestly, where do you even start after a result like that? Celtic going up to McDermott Park and coming away with absolutely nothing. Beaten 1-0 by bottom of the league, St. Johnstone, a team that before today looked destined for relegation. And you know what's even worse, Brendan Rodgers came out after the match and said he wasn't surprised. Not surprised. Let that sink in. The manager of Celtic, the team flying high at the top, loses to the team, rooted to the foot of the table and says, it didn't shock me. That for me says everything about where this team is at the minute. There's a comfort, a softness, an arrogance creeping in, and it's starting to stink the place out. Now, don't get me wrong, full respect to St. Johnstone. They fought like their lives depended on it because quite frankly, they did. They came out with hard energy and purpose. Every ball was contested, every inch fought for. You could see in the first 10 minutes, they weren't there to make up the numbers. They were there to take something. And they did, fair play. But from a Celtic perspective, this is unacceptable. A team like ours with the quality we've got should be brushing aside like that aside. No disrespect, but we're talking about players here on wages that dwarf most of the St. Johnstone squad. And yet they look like the team chasing a title, while we look like a group of lads who'd rather be anywhere else. And it's not just about the result, it's the way we played. Slow, passive, predictable, side to side, back again, no urgency, no spark. It was as if we thought the game would win itself. And the thing that kills me is that it's not a one-off anymore. This has been bubbling under the surface for a while. Since that Bayern Munich game, something shifted. The hunger's gone, the intensity's dropped, and the players just don't seem at it. You look at the performance last week against Hearts and think, right, maybe we've turned a corner, maybe we're back to our best. But then this happens and you realize that was the exception, not the rule. What makes it even harder to swallow is the fact that Rangers dropped points the day before. That was a gift. A golden opportunity to go 16 points clear at the top, put one hand on the trophy and send a message. But instead of grabbing it, we chucked it in the bin. We bottled it. We absolutely bottled it. And I don't say that lightly because we've seen this team turn up under pressure. We've seen them rise to the occasion, but take the pressure off and they look lost. It's almost like they need attention, the threat to get the best out of them. When the stakes are high, they deliver. When there's breathing room, they go missing. That's not the mentality of champions. And you can talk about the players, and I will, but this starts with the manager. Brendan Rodgers is one of the best managers we've had in recent times, no doubt. I've backed him since day one, and I still believe he's the right man for the job. But he's got to take responsibility here. He's the one setting the tone, motivating the squad, and preparing them mentally for games like this. And for too many weeks now, the lads have been going out looking like they've already got the title in their back pocket. That's not good. Enough. You can't just coast through games and expect to win because you got a Celtic badge on your chest. You need to earn it every week. And when you look at the individual performances, it's just depressing. Defensively, we were soft. Carter Vickers, a player I've praised to the heavens before, got bullied. He looked like a shadow of himself, second to everything unsure rattled. And Trusty back in the team after injury offered nothing in terms of progression. Every time he got the ball, he was scared to do anything with it. I get that he's just coming back, but passing the ball forward isn't something that disappears with a few weeks out. The basics were missing. The midfield was no better. Hitati, McGregor, and Bernardo, none of them stamped their authority. Hitati at least tried. I'll give him that, but missing those big chances. You've got to bury them. I don't care if you're a midfielder or not. When the ball drops to you in the box, you need composure. McGregor was just McGregor. Nothing special, nothing terrible, just ticking along. And Bernardo sluggish off the pace, not at the level we need right now. When your midfield looks that lethargic against a team fighting for survival, you're in trouble. And don't get me started on the front line. Yang was hooked at halftime for a reason. Absolutely anonymous. One of those performances where you forget he's even on the pitch until he runs the ball out of play. Last week I backed him, said he looked like he was finding form again, and this is what we get rotten. Maida was his usual energetic self, but even he couldn't spark anything. Kyogo starved of service, but also too quiet for too long. No one stood up. No one said, right, I'll take this game by the scruff of the neck. That's what we needed, and no one delivered. It all comes back to the lack of urgency. There's no zip in the passing, no invention, no bravery. We walk the ball out from the back like we've got all day. Then when we get near the box, we're scared to try anything. Players too frightened to take a risk. too worried about making a mistake. But here's the thing. When you're losing 1-0 with 5 minutes to go, you have to throw caution to the wind. You need to take that chance play, that killer ball, make something happen. If you lose it, fine, at least you tried. But playing is safe in the dying minutes gets you nowhere. The whole team just looked mentally flat, devoid of inspiration. And that's the bit that's hardest to understand, because only a few weeks ago we were talking about this being one of the best seasons in recent memory. Still on course for a treble, still alive in every competition, playing some brilliant football. But if we let this kind of form continue, all that goodwill, all those memories, they'll be washed away in a wave of frustration. We've seen it before, a brilliant season soured by a limp ending, and it cannot happen again. So Rodgers came out and said there's a comfort at the club he doesn't like, and he's right. Too many players coasting, playing like the job's done when it's far from it. But it's his job to fix that. He needs to be the one drilling that urgency back into them, reminding them of the standards they've set. The fans see it. They feel it. We're not stupid. We know when a team is half-hearted. And right now, that's exactly how Celtic look. That softness Rodgers spoke about, it's everywhere. It's in the defending. It's in the midfield. It's in the final third. And if it's not addressed quickly, it could cost us more than just pride. We've got a Scottish Cup semi-final on the horizon, and if we turn up like we did today, we'll be out before we know it, because teams have clocked on, sit deep, frustrate us, wait for a mistake, and we're making it far too easy for them. There's no plan B, no spark, no urgency. And if we're being honest, this isn't just a blip. It's a trend now. That's 4 domestic defeats already in 2024. That's not title-winning form. That's form that gets managers sacked in this country. Now I'm not saying Rodgers should go, far from it, but the pressure's on and he knows it. We can't afford to stumble to the finish line. We need to get back to what made us great. Fast attacking football players, running through brick walls, that relentlessness that teams feared. Right now we're not scaring anyone, and the fans deserve better. They travel, they sing, they back the team through thick and thin, but they're not mugs. They can see the standards slipping, and they won't accept it for long. Rodgers needs to rally the troops, get that fire back, and make sure we finish this season the way it deserves to be finished. With pride, with passion, and with silverware. Because if we keep serving up performances like today, this could go from being a memorable campaign to a massive missed opportunity. And listen, it's not like we don't have the tools to turn this around. The quality is there. You look through the squad and you've got players who've delivered before, who've stepped up in the big moments, who've got medals to show for it. But right now they're playing like a group who've lost their way. No rhythm, no fight, no direction. It's like they've forgotten what it means to wear that shirt. And that's what hurts the most. Because for the fans, this club is everything. Every result matters. Every game is massive. There's no room for switching off, especially not in April, especially not when there's still silverware on the line. Rodgers said something after the match that really stuck with me. He talked about needing to look into things this summer, that there's a comfort in the squad he doesn't like. And it's worrying to hear, because that comfort, he's talking about, it's already seeping into the performances. You don't wait until summer to fix that. You nip it now. You shake it out of the team before it becomes permanent. If there are players already with one foot out the door, they shouldn't be anywhere near the starting 11. If there's complacency creeping in, you either fight it or you change the personnel. Simple as that. You look at some of the subs that came on today and you wonder why they're not getting more time. Adam Ida, for example, not the finished article, sure, but he came on and immediately looked more willing than half the team. Got the ball, lifted his head, tried to make something happen. That cross for James Forrest should have ended in a goal, and if it had, we'd maybe be talking about a gritty comeback instead of another disaster. But it's not just about moments, it's about mentality. And Ida had the right one when he came on. Brave, direct, decisive. We need more of that. The issue right now is that too many of our players are playing with fear, scared to lose the ball, scared to be the one who takes the risk, and it doesn't come off. But you can't play scared. At Celtic, you have to demand the ball make the run, play the pass. The crowd will groan if it doesn't work, but they'll respect the intent. What they won't accept is cowards hiding behind safe passes and doing nothing with the ball. You can't be hiding in games like this, not when the team needs someone to step up. And sadly, that's exactly what happened today. A park full of passengers when we needed leaders. And it's starting to boil over now with the support. You can feel it. There's frustration, there's anger, there's confusion. Because this isn't the Celtic we watched from August to February. This isn't the team that blew teams away with quick passing, constant movement, relentless pressing. That team feels like a memory at this point. And the longer this dip in form continues, the harder it'll be to claw it back. Confidence drains fast in football. 1 or 2 bad games and it becomes a habit. And right now, losing soft goals, failing to break teams down, looking flat, it's becoming a habit. Rodgers has to address that head on. He has to be ruthless now. No more excuses about form or injuries or tired legs. Every team has problems. It's about how you respond. We've got a cup semifinal coming and then huge league fixtures to end the season. We've still got everything to play for. But only if we get our heads right. The players have to remember what's at stake. They have to remember what's expected. Not just from Rodgers, but from the fans, from the club, from the jersey. This next run of games can define the season. We've still got a treble on the table. We're still in pole position. But if we keep turning in performances like we did, today all of that can disappear real quick. And then we'll be left wondering how we threw it all away. That's the danger now. That's the edge we're standing on. It's not just about bouncing back. It's about rediscovering the hunger that made this team great in the first place. Because right now, Celtic look like a team with nothing to fight for. And we all know that couldn't be further from the truth. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Glasgow is abuzz with whispers that could redefine football fantasy. Lionel Messi, the living legend, may be preparing to swap the palm trees of Miami for the hallowed grounds of Celtic Park. According to sources close to the Argentine star, the 37-year-old is seriously considering signing with Celtic FC in a sensational move that would see him play his final UEFA Champions League campaign in the iconic green and white hoops. With the 2026 edition expected to be his last European dance, the rumor has ignited a frenzy across both sides of the Atlantic. While Messi remains under contract with Inter Miami, speculation is mounting that a loan or short-term deal could be engineered to bring him to Scotland just in time for the Champions League group stages. The idea. One last European hurrah before retirement in front of the passionate Celtic faithful at a club steeped in tradition and lore. With his legacy secure and a resume unmatched in the history of the sport, Messi's motivation now seems focused not on trophies, but on stories, symbols, and sentimental goodbyes. Celtic, who last made headlines in Europe during their 2012 victory over Barcelona, would undoubtedly see this as the ultimate marquee signing. Financial logistics aside, the sheer pull of Messi's presence would catapult the club's global appeal and reinforce its historical identity. Imagine Messi standing beneath the floodlights at Celtic Park with 60,000 fans singing, "You'll never walk alone." A scene straight out of footballing dreams. For Messi, the move could mark a poetic close to a glittering career that began in Rosario, exploded in Barcelona, and enchanted fans in Paris and Miami. What better final chapter than to embrace the passion of the Scottish game and chase one last European thrill? Sources say the player has long admired Celtic's spirit, and his desire to play in front of their mythical support, even just once, has grown stronger as his career winds down. No official announcement has been made, but insiders suggest talks are advanced. If confirmed, it would be one of the most extraordinary transfers in the history of football. A swan song fit for the king of the game. Paradise may soon play host to football's greatest ever, if fate, ambition, and a little magic from the boys align just right. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.